tragedy took place, that what they were telling us was not what happened. Because I sat there glued to the television like half of the rest of America, not doing anything but not believing what was taking place.
Oh, man.
And then realizing that, no, what I heard the first day is not what they're saying now, you know.
Right.
I thought, did I...
Well, how about the last video I just played? Wasn't that a good one?
That was very good, and I love all of the ones that you have played, and I've found some on the internet as well, and I try to share the information that you put out and then other websites that I found. And
hey, well, if you find information like that, man, send it to me.
I will, absolutely. Yeah. I found one from this website that's that tries to expose the conspiracy theories and how they're getting about, and they did one exposing the 9/11 conspiracy through, what did he call it, telegraphing it through movies and television shows.
Oh.
It's just this 30 minutes, and I'm like, the guy couldn't manipulate that if these are movies that have been out on DVD. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
so,
it's funny. Fiction is stranger than...
Well,
how's that go? No, reality is stranger than fiction.
Well, and I've read that that Hitler, not that I'm condoning Hitler here, but that the Mein Kampf was his absolute game plan of what he was going to do, but most people thought it was so far out there that it would never happen.
Yeah, kind of like...
it happened right out from under their nose.
Kind of like the PNAC document turned out to be, huh?
Exactly. So it's just like... When something is raising a red flag immediately, then you need to post red flag and not believe. But I want you to know, I am a Christian, but I certainly wasn't offended by your rant. I thought, well, yeah, I hope it wakes people up because there are way too many people sleeping.
Great.
But I assure you that I haven't fallen in. I don't.
Right. That's great. That's great because... Well, I've got friends who are Muslims, and it's hard for me to convince them that there's some sort of justice in the world, you know, because everything they point out is absolutely true. It's just being piled on and heaped on, and they're made to look horrible no matter what. And now they're talking about, what is that, all that nonsense about anchor babies and...
Oh, yeah. But then you get fresh faces like Katie Couric and Brian Williams. Yeah, you're going to believe them because they come into our living. We let them in our living room every evening.
Yeah, they're such nice, nice people, good looking.
Well, you know, it says in the Bible, it says that even Satan can come as an angel of light. So,
well,
you know.
I'm not saying they're exactly Satan, but they sure aren't cooperating with angels.
No, they're not cooperating, but yeah, it's way beyond. I mean, this was something that was masterminded years in advance, and
you know. But you know, somebody wrote me on one of the blogs that I was talking on, and you know, they want to know how is it that nobody's come forward, and they started off on that line, and I came forward, and I mean, I just said, look, the only reason that we know as much as we do about 9/11 is because the entire operation was so massive that they filled it with mistakes. And it was every mistake and the subsequent cover-up that they tried to do to oops and cover that we go, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And that was the chink in their armor every time. Every mistake gave us a little bit of insight.
Well, and wasn't that also a training day for the military for, you know...
Yeah, they had all kinds of military readiness drills going, one of which...
I remember hearing a soundbite when the air traffic controller said, is this real time? Or is this...
Yeah, is this a drill or is this real?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
And I thought, okay, well then, you know, right there, I mean...
It showed the confusion.
To create a cloud of confusion, exactly.
Right. So, and then for the first time in history, Cheney and Rumsfeld were in the line of command so that the generals that normally can scramble flights out had to call Cheney or Rumsfeld.
Oh, that's frightening.
And they didn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
So it's not like somebody gave a stand-down order. They didn't give a stand-up order like they were supposed to.
Exactly. So anyway, I love your work. I love what you do, and I 100% support.
Well, thank you very much, and keep up the good work. And anybody that has videos or something that ought to be included on this show, just write my email.
I will. I'll post some to you then.
Very good.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for calling. And I'm back to this one again. Richard Gage's blueprint for 9/11 truth. I'm going to make sure that I get that on. So you'll have to. I can't tell you right now what it's going to be. Oh, we have another caller. So I just say go ahead and put the caller through. You don't even have to tell me. Just put them through.
Hello, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. I was wondering maybe you can do a show on the builder and the person, the architect of the World Trade Center.
They actually did a pretty good show on that already.
I heard he was killed by the first plane. Is that correct?
You know, I'm not really sure on that.
I mean, the plane actually hit his office and killed him. It was almost like a mafia.
I remember hearing something like that, and there were a couple of unfortunate incidents like that. A couple of which seemed like, you know, one of the guys that was an unknowing dupe, and I can't give you any more information than that to find out who I'm talking about. But when I find out, I'll come back and tell you. But he was an unknowing dupe, and before he could be questioned and all that, he was killed in 9/11 with the building falling, and I think that was not a coincidence.
The person who actually built the World Trade Center was killed in the attack.
You know,
so he has no one's there to protect him or his building. I mean, they're saying the building collapsed. What does him and his company have to say about it? Well, it was all destroyed, and he was killed.
Yeah, it makes it hard to testify, but the problem is that, you know, they're trying to say that there was this much heat in the fires that brought the building down, and the debate that I was talking about, they're going to try to convince people that fire alone brought 3 skyscrapers down. And, you know, as a welder, I've answered some people on the blogs that point to that streaming yellow metal pouring out of the building saying that isn't steel, which indicates fire's way hotter than the government story. He said, that's got to be aluminum. And then as a welder, I told him, I said, no, I can tell you right now, no matter what temperature you get that aluminum to, it's still a dull gray, and you can't tell before it goes, you know, into its molten state. And the person came back and said, it does glow when you get it to 1,000 degrees centigrade. Well, it melts at 600 degrees centigrade or something like that. And how do you get it to 1,000 degrees centigrade once it melts and runs away? We're talking about a building fire with random placement of these materials, and they're trying to get you to believe that there was a pocket of something staying like in a cauldron with a blast fire under it to get it to 1,000 degrees centigrade. That's just absolute nonsense. Yeah. And then the idea that the fires could actually transfer enough heat, that's one thing that most people have not talked about, but I can talk about it right now. Those steel beams are the biggest heat wicks. That you put heat on it in one place and that'll wick that heat away. That beam will stay as cool as possible, trying to spread that heat very quickly. And when you weld big beams like that, you have to heat them up because the weld itself is hot, and if you have such a differential in heat and cold, you run problems with stress fracturing and all that. So you try to get everything to the right temperature before you heat it. And I've seen big castings getting welded that took weeks of heating before they could be welded because it takes such a long time to spread that metal, the heat through that metal. Now here we're talking about some beams that were, 4 feet by 2 feet, but the cross-section of 4 inches thick at the bottom, and those, they tapered as they went towards the top, but those are supposed to have melted from ordinary office fires in half an hour? Give me a break. You couldn't even get them hot to the touch in that short a time. It's amazing. Yeah. And hey, we do have a picture of a lady leaning on the building like this, right where the plane hit and that giant fire was. It must have cooled down mighty fast. That was before it fell. Well, anyway, I'm ranting again instead of listening to you.
Well, when 9/11 first happened, the first thing I thought of